What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? It's it's your boy. It's Johnny. I need a tagline. I hear some of these YouTube content creators. They got their intro. They say some outlandish. I don't know. It's you. Maybe I need an intro. Who knows? I don't have an intro. Sue me. um, Monday morning, 6:30 a.m. First live stream of the day. We have a busy week. We have a lot of boxing. We've had a lot of boxing. We're doing really well. October was great for us. November started excellent for us. I'm sure you guys are tapped in. Um, I did a live stream during the Pero versus Thompson fight last night. And so in that live stream, we got to talk a little bit about our picks. We won our hits. We covered the Philippines. We covered Canada. Philippines we hit. Canada we hit. We hit our underdog of the week once again with Lyndon Arthur. And we hit our parlay. So I got to say thank you to all the boys. The channel's growing. The Discord's growing. Wherever you guys are tapping in, could you give me a thumbs up? Could you tell me what's up? Let me know if you hit or not. We're going to cover all that. I want to give you a little bit of heads up what's going on this week. I'm going to be uploading Jazzy Parr versus May Solomon today. There's a card Friday night in Australia. It's a good card. There's some good domestic fighters, both ladies and men. Now, this isn't a no limit card. So the reason why I reference that, there's going to be a lot of 50-50 fights on this card. There's at least 3 50-50 fights. There's an upset I'm going to take. Usually on the no limit promotions cards, it's like big favorites and kind of like we're all eating with the feeder fights. This isn't that. So just stay tuned. I'm going to be uploading, like I said, May Salomon and Jazzy Parr. If you're unfamiliar with those ladies, I'll catch you up to date with what to expect Friday night in Australia. The odds are already up on Sportsbet. The odds are up on Bet365. So we'll get to that in a second. I want to cover everything that happened this weekend with our picks, our hits. There's some controversy in the UFC. I shared that in the Discord. We'll get to that at the end. I will be going live one more time today. So you got me for 2 hours today. Right now, my 6:30 a.m. and then 1:30 p.m. my time. So if you guys want to start putting this in your schedule, Australia time, 6:30 a.m., first live stream, second live stream, 1:30 p.m. So that being said, welcome to everybody. I'm going to start taking your questions now. We got Rambler in the house. Rambler says, I'm up. I don't know about you, but Lyndon on points paid big. Come on, baby. We were talking about Lyndon Arthur last Monday. I gave you guys Lyndon Arthur as my underdog of the week last Monday. So we got him at 270. Even Duck Gary. Yeah, Gary came on the live and he put together a parlay. It all hit except the draw. Look, I didn't cover Gomez. I didn't break Gomez down. I didn't mess with him. The fights I told you to take, we hit. Where's the Ray, Parker, and Allen casuals now? So yeah, people were loving Bradley Ray. I said no. People were loving Zach Parker. I said no. We could talk about that. People were salty about the Joshua Buatsi fight. It's another point of contention. Gary, I saw Gary's live stream yesterday. I gave you guys my opinion. I'll replay my thoughts on Zach Parker so we can put that to bed. I really didn't have a dog in that fight. I did have Buatsi on the money line, but I didn't put too much investment into that fight. I didn't share a stats don't lie. Whenever you're dealing with Joshua Buatsi, guys, you know what you're expecting. You know what you're going to get. I mean, this version, uninspired, slow, lethargic, sluggish, all that good stuff. King of Fitness, the King. Johnny, what's up, my guy? Happy first Sunday of the month. Vergil decision win. The King. Yeah, we got a lot of fights to talk about. We got Erickson, Lubin versus Vergil. Man, there's 3 major cards, but there's a lot of fights. I'm going to be focusing on the 3 major card. There's Tiger Johnson, Nick Flaz card, which as Tiger Johnson, Nick Flaz, to think for me, a true blue boxing nerd, on the same weekend as Vergil versus Lubin. Let's go. We still in the profit. Yes, sir, we are. Julius Parker was crawling on the floor. Yeah, I couldn't, Julius, could we come up with another example of a guy who fought so negatively and lost, and then all the people crying like he won. I was watching Gary's live, and he was like, and this is why I shared this in our Discord. Let me just bring this up real quick. Since let's just talk about this real quick. So I'm going to bring up the Discord, and I'm just going to, it's basically rule setting. That's not it. 2 a.m. Yeah, everybody was hit. Dude, we ate our Discord ate last night, and I'll go over the winning tickets. We all hit. If you listen to me on like the Lyndon Arthur, um, you you'd have got up. Okay, so that's we keep killing it. Yes, sir. Okay, here we go, guys. So this is my pushback to Gary from 3D. He was talking, and this is in reference to Buatsi and Parker. And on his live stream, he was saying, "Yeah, but what did Buatsi do? You have to score points. You have how many points did he score with punching?" And I'm like, "Bro, you score rounds not with just how many punches land. A proper way, boxing rounds are judged using a 10-point must system. We know that, where the winner of a round receives 10 points and the loser receives 9, resulting in a 10-9 score. Judges evaluate rounds based on factors like effective aggression. That's the first. Ring generalship. There's 2. Punch efficiency. There's 3. More dominant round, scoring 10-8, usually if there's a knockdown, etc., etc. So my point is, you can't just go with the argument Joshua Buatsi didn't land enough punches, therefore he lost the fight. I'm coming at it from a totally different perspective. The way I look at it is, I was thanking the heavens that Zach Parker didn't get rewarded a victory for fighting that negatively. I told you guys this when it was happening in the moment. I said it wasn't Zach Parker's fault. You could tell Zach Parker drilled that game plan. He executed a game plan. We have to talk about his camp. You can tell that's what they planned up. They drew that up during fight camp, and Zach Parker did his job. The fighter can only do what their camp instructs the fighter to do. And a lot of times we only talk about this when the fighter doesn't execute the game plan. You know what I'm saying? Think about how many times you guys hear people like me after a fight saying, "Wow, man, I didn't see what was his game plan." I'm sure they went over one, but he didn't execute one. I couldn't tell what game plan was. This wasn't that. Zach Parker had a clear cut game plan. The issue was it was a freaking terrible game plan. That his camp, I wish I could bring his camp on, his head coach, whoever created it, and talk to him, because I'm like, what were some of the intangibles Zach Parker had? He was faster than Buatsi. He used the ring way better than Buatsi. So somebody asked me on the live chat, what would you have done? What would the proper game plan have been? What you want to do with Buatsi is turn him. The way you get off on Buatsi, he's, especially that version, uninspired, slow, wants to be perfect with everything. You turn him. Feint, boom, out angle counter. Then you exit, come back in. And Parker did that twice. I think somewhere around the rounds 3 or rounds 4. Only twice. Like there's fighters who, like, think about how many times Lomachenko would turn his opponent. So for all you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, that's what I'm talking about. Like it's not like a hard. If you have the speed advantage, if you have better feet, this is what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, day one stuff of learning how to box is don't put yourself in a position defensively to not see a punch coming. Because more often than not, when you get hurt in a fight, it's not because you saw the punch. It's because you got out-angled, you got turned, you put yourself in a position to not see a punch, and then you got caught with something. So that was my point. That would have been my game plan if I was Parker. Use the ring like he did, but cut the ring, and don't use the entire goddamn ring, and turn him. He had the negative fighting, exiting, falling, clinching. It was like a poor man's Klitschko mixed with like the worst version, Timu version of like the haters who clown Shakur for how Shakur fought Edwin. So I'm not saying he looked like Shakur was. I liked how Shakur fought Edwin. That's a whole different chat. But if you were to take Shakur and you got the Timu version of Shakur, the YMCA version of Shakur, doing that strategy against Edwin, that's what Parker looked like. That's just my take. I'm catching up to all the comments. Also, the last 2 weeks, I'm up 2,500. That's what we're talking about. Guys, Join the Discord. It's like $5 a month. We're out here giving game. More importantly, I love when you guys are up. You guys know what we're doing here. We're building a community. We're all eating, and it's very educative. People are learning. I want you guys to learn. I want to create a community. I want to have fun. I might add this in the rules in the Discord. If you're not having fun and you're ruining your interpersonal relationships with your people at home because you have a gambling problem, get the hell out, man. Call, private message me if you guys are having issues, because the last thing you want to be doing is chasing something or comparing yourself to others. You see people sharing their tickets, and then you're salty, and now you're chasing, and then you're not hitting, and you're getting salty. One of my favorite quotes about this: comparison is the thief of joy. In whatever you're doing in life, don't compare yourself to others, mate. You are on your own path. You're on your own journey. It's one of the reasons I always block out how much I bet and how much I win. The last thing I ever want to do is make somebody that I don't know feel inferior. Make anybody I know. That's just not how I'm wired. Making somebody in any instant in life feel inferior, you're not on the right path. So with that being said, I'm glad that you're up. Can we take a minute to mourn the Gomez robbery? I didn't watch this fight, Adu. I saw on my sports bet. You guys know what happened to me. I got a victim. I got like Stockholm syndrome from using the sports bet app. We know in Australia, the sports bet app, a draw ruins your parlay. This draw ruined my 17 leg. Tiger Johnson decision. We'll get there in a second. Mankey crazy. Charlie Edwards versus Andrew Kane, but the Brits complained about Edwards. Yeah. 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 Was this as bad? Was Charlie versus Kane? Mankey's using this as an example to compare to with Buatsi versus Zach. People, I'm feeling that Flaws is a steal. Currently, I feel the odds will even out. Bro, it's going to be really tough for me to give you guys my official prediction because, I'm a big Tiger guy. But when you guys tape both guys, the one thing you have to keep in mind, when you guys do your tape, we're watching a Nick Flaz. Nick Flaz is in his prime right now. Nick Flaz knows who he is as a fighter. He knows how he has to operate to win. He knows what game plan. When you fight a guy like Nick Flaz, you know what you're getting, right? My only issue with Tiger is I feel like he's still figuring out who he is. And at this level, if there's even a moment of hesitation, a moment of sort of thought within the battle, it doesn't sort of speak too well for that pause. That's all I'm going to say. You know what you're getting with Nick. This will only be, I think, Tiger's third fight at 47. He's 2-0 since his move up, one stoppage, one decision. He's filled out pretty nicely. He's the undefeated guy. We know about his amateur career. He's a Northeast Ohio guy. I'm a big fan of him. I'm also a big fan of Nick Flash. So when this got ordered, I was like, oh, I cannot wait to break this down. Also, when you're breaking down the tape of Tiger, you don't have to go too deep. Just watch his fights at 47. Gary thinks if the ref ignores low blows, the judges should score them as low. What? Hold on. Gary thinks I can't really comment or judge how he thinks, but I didn't hear him say this. He think if the ref ignores low blows, the judges should score them as legal punches. His favorite fighter is Andrew Galata. I don't know. I don't know how much credence I'll give that. I'll bring the Discord up in a second. Buatsi was throwing and Parker was falling. Yeah, how many times was just off one memory? I didn't rewatch that fight, and I'm not going to put myself through the misery of rewatching that fight, but I watched the entire thing. How many times was Buatsi on the ground or Parker? At least 5 times. Parker, and you know what was I got to add another point to this. It wasn't just Zach Parker's coaching that was awful. It was the announcers. The announcers should be embarrassed with how they announced that fight. Even in the 5th round, one of the boys said that it was like the first time they acknowledged the people watching that this was Parker's game plan, and they had the audacity to say it was the proper game plan. It was, and then also the referee. So I will never blame the fighter unless it's a blatant biting the ear Mike Tyson Holyfield situation. You'll never hear me blame the fighter. I mean, the fighter is the person at the end of the day who has to execute and perform. I'm gonna the coaching, the announcers should be ashamed of themselves. Obviously, they take no blame for the outcome, but the ref, that ref was absolutely horrible from the very opening bell. Guys, it's the referee's job. It's the referee's duty as soon as the fight starts to lay perimeters of what is going to be allowed and what's not going to be allowed. Allowing, okay, there's one thing with allowing it and then acknowledging it and then taking points. There were no points taken. There was no acknowledgement. The announcers wouldn't even they didn't even question the game plan as being a negative thing. If I remember right, it was around the 5th round where I think Carl finally said that, oh, this is a smart game plan by Parker. He's executing it perfectly. Well, everything he said there was right, except the word smart. This is an awful game plan by Parker. He is executing it perfectly. Buatsi was pushing down a lot. What do you do in that situation when every time you engage in the pocket and your opponent puts their head down and leans in? What are you going to do? You're just going to stand there? You're going to be like, get off me. Get the fuck off. Like, stop. Like, what are we doing here? Keep your goddamn head up. It was insane. This shit right here, thank God his stamina was horrible. Troy Jones. I put some notes. I want to bring up some notes real quick about this point because we really weren't talking about it. What is he? Are they not teaching head movement, guys, in the UK? Like Troy Jones, when you're watching this kid exchange and you're watching him exit, I'm talking like I will live stream my next boxing session downstairs with with a client of mine who works in corporate Australia. He's never fought before. He's a family guy, early 30s. I've taught him from I teach people who've never fought before from the ground up how to fight, how to box. I'll show you how he slides out the way, you know, here, 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 not here. Like this is day one shit. There's no slipping. There's no here, nothing. It's just Troy Jones looked real big. Look, I'm happy for Liam Cameron. I'm happy for my parlay. We hit on Liam Cameron. We hit on Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur looked real good. Are we going to talk about Lyndon Arthur? How about Lyndon Arthur's backhand? How about the timing? And once again, another guy in Bradley Ray, no head movement. All right, guys, let's just focus on offense and not defense. Maybe this is why growing up, granted I was a smaller kid pre-pubescent years. I was real small. So I was always a fan of defensive fighters like Pernell Whitaker, Floyd. Even when you would watch like Arturo Gatti, people know Gotti for the wars he was in. People know Gotti for his heart and spirit. But watch Gotti's highlights, mate. Gotti's movement was beautiful. Gotti, when he would box, gorgeous. Use the entire ring. Lateral movement left, lateral movement right. Jab, exit, jab, feint, slip. Sir, like when Gotti would be cooking and didn't engage in a firefight, beautiful movement to watch. Paulie Spadafora. Spadafora was one of my favorite fighters. Do you guys kind of see a Spadafora, another great southpaw nobody talks about? I think Paulie was 49-1. One of my favorite fighters I've ever seen watch live in the early 2000s. I got to see him fight live in Mountaineer, West Virginia at the racetrack. The Pittsburgh kid, man. Shout out to Paulie Spadafora, a guy that people forget about. Kabir Iba, I'm not gonna lie, I made at least 3,500 profit, my guys. So luck shit. Just listen to you testing the waters and man, I do electric so hard to lock in, but ready to. Kabir, you're a beast, baby. If you're not having fun, don't do it. Julius Gomez, yeah. Did somebody say he's world level? Look, I don't put any credence into this era. Even your boy Pero. I mean, what did we watch last night with Pero versus Jordan Thompson? If you put Jordan Thompson and don't give him a 2-year layoff, and also Jordan Thompson is going to look back at that performance and he's going to look at the first 5 rounds and he's going to be salty because he gave Pero way too much respect the first 5 rounds. And Jordan Thompson's for not being in there for 2 years, his cardio was better. His precision punching was better. I feel like he should have just turned it up from the very first bell and not respected Pero early. And I took Pero, he hit, we won. That was one of my biggest hits was I parlayed Liam Cameron, Pero, Buatsi, and Lyndon Arthur. We was out here eating. But when Jordan rewatches that tape, he's gonna be salty. He is. You know, sometimes, and this is the thing with boxing, guys. This is why I never judge fighters. When that bell rings, the whole world, it shrinks into a vacuum. Everything just goes boom. And some people are really, really equipped to operate in that vacuum. Think about how Floyd would operate. People only credit Floyd. When you think about Floyd, you think about the undefeated record. You think about the two careers, the Pretty Boy Floyd era and the Money Mayweather era. You think about, his defensive mastery. But what people fail to always mention is in that vacuum, boom, Floyd was the highest level operator. Being able to operate your entire career like that is at some, when you have two great athletes, two alphas, two skilled technicians, two men who literally are in the top 0.005% of all men in the world, sometimes what separates them is the ability or the inability to operate in that vacuum. And when to put an exclamation point on my point here is when Jordan Thompson looks back at his tape, man, there's going to be a lot to be happy about and a lot that he's probably going to. And this is why you can't judge a fighter because they're the ones who are going to have to live with it. You know, like I always talk about Justice Hooney versus Fabio. That will haunt Justice forever. How that fight went and how it ended. There, you could be the happiest in anything that you do. That you know that's going to haunt him forever. How that went. Rambler, I'm up 20K. We just got to get used to it. Carlos is forever in the chat. Muscles is forever interconnected with my channel, with the Discord. Muscles is forever interconnected with what? Ticketgate. Also, no racial slurs in the chat. I didn't like to use in the N word. You know what? You know what, King Fitness? You know who used the N word? He's from Philly. He's African American. Because I got 5 messages, King, about this. You're talking about he's from Philly. He's a stand-up comic from Philadelphia. Not a white dude. And I agree, no excuse. But I got a bunch of messages about this. Who is that so and so? Are you gonna check? And I'm like, he has links up on his YouTube. You could go see who he is. I don't know. I think what he does is he kind of rage baits. And I don't want to put, if you guys are in the Discord, go check it out. He kind of rage baits in, I was that close a couple months ago with banning him. This is before my Discord, King. I was going to ban him from my chat. And then over time, I learned how to deal with him and understood what he was doing. And now he actually brings good value, but not that this was about this. I didn't like what he said there either. I don't like reading it. We don't have that in our Discord. When you read it had also, since we're here, I also don't like the boys being so misogynistic, but I'm not going to call anyone out on that either. So I have to I have to walk a fine line, guys, of being able to moderate and not gatekeep. The last thing I ever want to do is stand on my soapbox and I am right on everything and I govern, and everyone who says something that I don't agree with, I have to kick you out. So it's not how I do it. But since we're here on this point, the racial, even if they're jokes, there's no room for it. I 100% agree. Also, guys, I am not one of these guys who play with talking trash about women. I don't like when you guys call women bitches. I don't like when you guys call, like, that shit's not funny to me. It's not how I was raised. I grew up to respect women. This is my mom right here, Rosie. I got my mom tatted on my chest, so we both roll till my dying day. So, yeah, I agree with you, man. I think I might got a dog. I already got my dog, DJ. Y'all gotta start calling me Dog the Bounty Hunter. I already got my dog, DJ. Shoot. Facts King goes, he does. He does. Boys, it's your Discord. Call him on it. You guys could call him on it. I'm gonna pull it up. And Adu put, Adu. And we got moderators in there. So we got moderators. You guys could I set up a moderator for this exact reason. It's your Discord. I run it. You guys are make it go, make it pop. Yeah, PJ use that ER word. I'm still good. Call him on it, DJ. It's your Discord. I mean that. Guys, as long as it's constructive, you guys have to lead by leadership as well. I got messaged a lot about it. I got an armed guard to escort me from the casino. Ryan Hong. Yo, yo, yo. Johnny, you got to rewatch Go. Okay. If it was a banger, I'll rewatch it. I cannot wait for this fight. Maybe I'm such a hopeless romantic, guys. I get hyped. Like there's a domestic level female fight happening Friday night in Australia that I am super excited for. Super excited for. Could you only imagine how excited I am for Antoine Russell versus Hiroka? I'm super excited for GAR versus Hiroka. And I'm going to be breaking it down. You know I will. Just got to wait for it. Jordan started way too late. It was very... Bro. I'm catching up, guys. Make sure you like this video. I'm going live again today. I'm uploading my first breakdown. The stats don't lie. The female fight. May Solomon is fighting Jazzy Parr. May is a fighter. They're both from Australia. Jazzy is the daughter of John Wayne Parr and Angie Fernandez. If you guys are, MMA combat sports junkies like me, in the early 2000s, Angie Fernandez was the most baddest woman on earth in terms of women's combat sports. She then went on to marry and have a family with one of the greatest Caucasian kickboxers of all time, John Wayne Parr. They have a daughter. I say Caucasian because before Ramon Dekkers, the Dutch kickboxer, there was nobody in Thailand winning stadium belts like Ramon Dekkers, like Lubin stadium belts. And then came along John Wayne Parr. There are other guys too, but they have a daughter, Jazzy, who's I think 2021, undefeated in her early career. She's fighting May Solomon, another really good, young, tough. She's an Egyptian fight. I think she's Egyptian Australian. Has a lot of class to her. This is a fight that May asked for, and Jazzy's detractors up until this point would say that she's just been given sort of like feed her tomatoes. May Solomon is no tomato. So it's going to be a cracker. Follow Mike. I got to catch up. You boys all right, guys, I'm going to speed up through this chat. Hard R crazy. I only shot a dog if it's 250 or better. Dog barking. Dog the bounty hunter. King of Fitness, black or white, just the hard R isn't cool and respect women. I have 4 older sisters and a mother like that. Yeah. Look, I agree with everything you said. It's all love. Hey, holding each other. We have to get to a place. This is how you have to be at a place. If you're not at a place in your life where your circle of influence, whoever you hang out with, when they hold you accountable and you get salty at them, that says more about you than your circle. You want people to hold you accountable. It's a sign that they want you to grow. And if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and can't see your flaws, you got to look deeper. It's not official yet. My thoughts. Horse shits. They keep, we're getting gaslit, boys and girls. They keep telling us that Ryan Garcia is a champion. Come on, man. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. Those look like comfortable shoes. If I remember hard enough, I can remember my first pair of shoes. Mama said they'd take me anywhere. They was my magic shoes. So I want to look at... Yeah, I got no comment. All right, so I'm going to go over real quick. We're about 30 minutes in. Still good. Anybody in the Discord who wants to come on and shoot it with me, let me know. We're going to go over our hits. So we're about to go over our hits. Liam Cameron, get your work in. Dog of the week, Eaton, Lyndon Arthur. Get your work in. If you guys want to. Okay, PJ giving a shout out to the dogs. Alex giving a shout out for the picks. The Money Royce is Eaton. Let's see if you can hear this.
Parker, he executed the game. Here's my two.
I'll spare you. I already told you how I felt about Buatsi and Parker. We don't have to racetrack. If you want to hear what I said, go to my story. Set free, good call. Set free's eaten. Ezekiel's eaten. The Mayweather is eaten. The king is eaten. What? This is, I cut his name off. This might be the king too. 7 people. This is a 60,000 bet to win 7,000. This is the Discordians. We're up to about 255 people now. We're growing. Bing said he joined the Discord because he heard me rapping. Now, this was my ticket. So this was Lyndon Arthur money line, Buatsi money line, Perro money line, and Liam Cameron money line plus 600. We up. You know, this is my favorite meme. Put the word out. We up. And if you don't know what shows this from, yo ass better call somebody. This was I told you guys, more call syndrome. I keep going back to sports bet, even though I know the draw ruins me. If this bet goes on Bet365, I win. This was a 17-legger. The only one I missed was that Gomez draw. Aussies, don't use sports bet. No matter how fun and shiny the interface looks, they're out to get you. All right, we got upcoming schedule, guys. This is up in the Discord for all you Discordians. We added the new channel. It's a schedule feature. I uploaded so far 3 big fight cards going down. The Friday fight in Australia, the Nick Flas fight, and the Vergil Ortiz card. Or Darius Fulgham, we last saw him against Bektemir. I actually picked Bektemir in that fight. This is a good fight, David Stevens. That's a good little dust up. Amari Jones is fighting again. Look, I'm not going to try to even sugarcoat it. This Vergil Ortiz Lubin card, I'm here for one thing only, and that is Vergil versus Lubin. This is going to be a fun fight. I've already taped both guys. This is going to be a fun firefight. This is going to be one of those fights on our channel where people are going to be divided. I think I did a poll a month ago. It was 80-20 Vergil. We'll see again. Happy Halloween. King of Fitness out here spreading free game on his NFL picks. There's Lubin the Hammer talking about how he feels slated. He feels people are sleeping on him. People have been sleeping on Lubin his entire career. Demir Brad says, we up. Thanks for the picks last night. I'll never go. You don't have to say that. Lowercase G, baby. Lowercase G. They said, this was an email I got. They said I was lying. I love it. They said I was lying about the 20 legs. No, not me, sir. Post that up to shut them up. And that's about that. I think we're good there. I want to bring up the latest odds real quick. We're just gonna touch base real quick on what the odds are looking like. And let me catch up on the chat. 32 people in here, guys. Could you give me a thumbs up? Could you like this video? Could you subscribe? Join the Discord. Links pinned in the comment section below. Teo, I don't listen to anything Teo says. I like when Teo fights though. He's a joy to watch. I wish he would be fighting more. I hope they don't ruin the undercard for Tank and Paul. I don't think they're fighting anymore. I'm pretty sure the Tank and Jake Paul fight card is off. Breaky Bad's tapping in. Salute. What's good, Break? What's doing? Fan-friendly favorite. All right, so I'm gonna go over real quick what we got, what the odds are looking like currently. Let's minimize my big ass head. And okay, so I don't expect you guys to know. Maybe you do. Maybe you Aussies might. That first fight, Solomon versus Jazzy. This is these are the ladies I was talking about. These are domestic prospects. Both ladies, both camps think that they're going to be world champions. I already told you who Jazzy was. May Solomon, Egyptian Australian. Both ladies are action packed, fun styles. This is a fun fight. I am this close. I'll let you know. I'm uploading Solomon versus Jazzy today. My stats don't lie video. If you don't know who Munir Fatih is either, guys, Munir Fatih is another fun Aussie prospect. Stephanie Cutting versus Mariah Turner. This is a good fight. So this is Australia. What do you guys notice this time around with this Australian card? Do you guys see what I'm saying? And Sergey Vorobyev versus Bala. The thing to notice this time around on this card is what this obviously is not a no limit promotions card. Why? Because look at the odds. Like a no limit card, the odds would be 15 to 1, 28 to 1. This is, I think I should, I'm going to give them a shout out. I don't know if it's Wanderer Promotions, maybe somebody in the chat. It's somebody like that. It's not no limit, and you can tell with the matchmaking. And this is a testament to these guys. I have a bunch of points that I'm crucial on about no limits promotions, a bunch of flaws. The most important one is their matchmaking, which is awful. This is good. This is much harder to pick. These are going to be much harder to go 100% on. Usually we're like, I think over the last 6 months, I'm like 98% win rate in Australia, 99% win rate in Australia. This is going to be tough, but we like it. This is how we eat. I'm that close, man. I like Solomon there. I do. I'll give you my. I like Munir Fatih. I have to watch a little bit more Andrew Hunt and Sergey Vorobov. I don't like what I see with him, man. He's more of like you guys should recognize. You guys should recognize Vorobov's name. I'm pretty sure Vorobov isn't Vorobov the kid who just got. Is he the one who got starched against Janabek Elamhanale? Or no? There's a few. No. He got knocked out against Mateo Tapia, which is no shade. Okay, so Vorobov, and it took Mateo stopped him in the fifth. And then he had a comeback fight. He had 2 draws. Okay, I was getting him confused with the kid who fought Alam Hanale. They're both kind of like, I think Russian Australians. Anyway, I'm going to tank Jake Azov Lubin for the upset. It's a fun fight. Let's see the odds real quick. All right, let's talk about Lubin real quick. Now, for the betters, okay? For the betters, the ones who a lot of the boys on the stream right now who put a lot of time and energy into study, who put a lot of time and energy for where our money's going to go, right off jump, those odds are super disrespectful. To think that Lubin's a 6-1 dog against Vergil to me is absolutely insane. I think this is more of a 50-50 fight. So even if I was a diehard Vergil fan, $1.13 is not worth the squeeze. I went on Gary's live stream 2 days ago to talk about Lubin versus Vergil. And I gave him my point, and he was like, "So you're picking Lubin?" And I was like, "I'm not picking Lubin. I'm just pulling up points that nobody's talking about." Vergil over his career has fought maybe one southpaw. You know what I mean? Erickson Lubin is a southpaw. Vergil has only had a handful of fights at 154. So Lubin's going to be the naturally bigger guy. Lubin's only losses, guys, 2017, almost a decade ago, when he was 20 or 21 years old against Charlo. His promoters rushed him. And then go to the scorecards of Seb Fandora. That fight got stopped because of damage, but it was pretty much goddamn even going into the ninth. And that fight had swung, dude. That fight had swung. Eric got dropped early, and then he dropped Seb in the seventh. And then the fight gets stopped due to damage. If you can't control scar tissue and swelling, but you remove the scar tissue and swelling, we might be talking about Erickson Lubin as a world champion. And I think he's just turned 30. I mean, these odds are super disrespectful. Super. This is crazy 675 to me, boy. This is for the sake of the sake of the sake. Oh God, man, everything in me not to take Lubin right now. If you guys watch, Lubin is a southpaw marauder, flat foot. Knows what he wants to do. He's gonna fight Vergil's fight. He's gonna be there. Could Vergil? We've seen him drop Boacek, grazed him a couple times. Vergil gets dropped a couple times. I think the deciding factor is going to be the volume from Vergil and the body punching. I'm not saying I'm taking Eric, but I mean, at 675, why not? What are we doing here, dude? I think this is, I think this is a 50-50 fight. Those odds to me are insane. Those odds to me are insane. That's all I'm going to say. Lubin's going on parlay. See, okay. Like, what are we talking? I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that this shit's insane. Lubin looked poor against Argiro. Well, guys, Argiro Holmes, I'm pretty sure Argiro Holmes was an undefeated. He was 17-0 going into that fight. I think Argiro Holmes, big, long southpaw, good amateur career, had a history with Lubin. It got personal in that fight. We know in boxing, you add in two really proud guys, kind of who ran in the same neighborhoods. And Argiro was the undefeated guy. I mean, so he's one of those guys that it's tough to look good against. It's kind of like Michael Fox. You know what I mean? Michael Fox is one of those guys tough to really look good against. I don't know. You're saying, so you liked how Vergil looked against Boacek? I hate using BoxRec, by the way. Their pop-up ads are absolutely insane. Here's a fun fact for you, which is insane as well. At 27 years old, Vergil Ortiz hasn't boxed 100 rounds. Just take whatever you want with that. Small, 70-inch reach, not the longest reach for 54. I mean, Crawford, I'm pretty sure Bud has a 74-inch reach, just to put things in perspective. And he doesn't, when you think Vergil, you think toughness, grittiness, Mexican style. One of my favorite fighters. Body punching, in the pocket. He wants to break you. He could crack. He's durable. He's there to get hit, though. He's had health issues in the past. We know about Rabdo. I think he had to take, 2 years off? So was Delorme his first fight at 47, or was Lawson? I think Lawson was his first fight at 47. McKinson was the last southpaw he fought. So Lawson, first round knockout. Delorme, he got him out of there quick. We know what happened in this Boacek fight, and then Madrimov. So everything there, everything that you see there, you think he's a 6-1 favorite? Lubin been in too many wars. I just don't think it's faced by. Yeah, no, this is a very valid point. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Look like he slowed down a lot. Chat. For real? Is this official? Jazza Dickens versus Tsumi? I'll check that out. I want to stick to Vergil real quick, but thanks for the heads up. So are we gonna maybe we see? Look, Lubin is gonna have to answer more questions than Vergil is. more in Virgil's going to have to answer some questions for sure. Virgil, this will be the first southpaw Virgil has fought at 154. This will be the biggest puncher he's fought at 54. I mean, I wish we had a bigger sample size of Madrimov because Gary was saying Boacek was the bigger puncher, but Boacek's punch style is way different than Erickson Lubin. They punch differently. Their styles are differently. Boacek is like a paper cut guy. Volume, 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 volume. He punches it. He everything's short and it's just here. Lubin is gonna, come at you, southpaw. He'll like split stance it a little bit more bladed. Boom, 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 and he's trying to drop bombs, and he's gonna be there. This could end early. This has the possibility of ending early. But here's a quick question to the diehard Virgil fans. How come people say that Naoya Inoue is chinny because he got dropped against Neri and Cardenas, but I haven't heard anybody say Virgil's chinny, and he got dropped against Boacek, who as of late has looked like a noodle. You know what I mean? Brandon Adams, Michael Fox. I mean, granted, Boacek, his fight style doesn't age well, but Virgil's fight style historically doesn't age well. So at 27, we've already so here's you guys got to think about this, right? He didn't get dropped against Madrimov. He gets dropped twice, got buzzed against Boacek. Didn't really, we've never really seen him hurt as of yet, hurt, like a bad one. But at 27 with his fight style, he gets touched a lot. He's been buzzed a couple times of recent. The style doesn't age well. I mean, boxing's a funny sport, man. Boxing's a real funny sport. Real fun sport. These odds are embarrassing. He can't crack. Lubin can punch. 100%. Like, it's going to be fun. It's a fun fight. Let's see some props. Lubin on points. No way a Golden Boy decision is in the cards for the B side. There ain't no way in hell there's a Golden Boy decision in the cards for a B side. That's why it's 15-1. But then again, if you like Eric by knockout, I mean, it's look at Vergil by knockout, $1.70. Tempting. What's a knockdown prop? Let's see knockdown props. So, do we get a total knockdown? To be knocked down. Will both fighters be knocked down 1150? Why not sprinkle something there? If we're talking about a little sprinkle, a little prop sprinkle, why not sprinkle it? We'll both. I could see both fighters going down, especially with this style. That's interesting. That's an interesting one. Guys, we're almost 50 minutes in. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know where the questions are coming. We got a big fighting week. We got a big boxing week. We had a big weekend. I appreciate all the support. The channel's growing. The Discord's growing. We just hit 255 VIPs in the Discord. If you want to learn more, I pinned the comment here. It's a couple bucks a month. You sign up on YouTube, and then you get access to our growing community. Everybody's eating. It's a very supportive community. Every now and then, you got to deal with a little bit of controversy. But sometimes the controversy is fun. Sometimes it's a little bit unsettling. But either or, we're a community in there. I love that both fighters knocked down in China fights. Japanese fights. In China fights or Japanese fights? How many rounds? 12. Let's see what that prop says. Hold on. Is it a 10 rounder? No, it's a 12 rounder. Will the fight end? Group round, total rounds in fight. See, this is another one, boys. The over under in the rounds. We're getting 9.5. Over under 9.5. What do you guys think? Lubin is going to beat him the same way he fought Rosario. Both Chinese never quit after being yeah, Hart. I don't know many Chinese boxers. I got to step my game up. I don't watch too many. I'm not. Maybe I'm slipping. The Japanese for sure. They're samurais. Jazza on the NUA card. Dude, Jazza Dickens, man. Albert Badagaziev. Jazza Dickens is 139 years old. Renaissance. I love the story. Dude, I'm just salty. He was a 675 against Badagaziev, dude. The disrespect was real. He fought with such an edge. That was in Turkey. And wasn't the boys were in the crowd, right? Was Fury ringside to that? Good for Jazza, dude. Let's go. Are the odds out? There we go. See, you boys keep me up to date. Sutsumi, once again, Jazza, 4-1 dog. Interesting. When does this go down? December 20th. How did I not know? There's so much. Thanks for keeping me up to date. I didn't even hear about this. When I taped Jazza versus Badagaziev, I gotta be. He was fun to tape. Dickens, you mix that with his story, how he's everything good about boxing is this guy's story. Sutsumi, good fight. 4-1's way better than I think like I said, 625 against Badagaziev was downright atrocious. Lubin cracks hard. Yeah, 100%. We're gonna see, man. I think I'm gonna play that knockdown prop. Both guys that gets knocked down. What do we say? 11-1 or 10-1? I know. I say it all the time. Johnny's gonna say my most proud knockdown prop was Inoue versus Cardenas, 16-1. At the same time, it's one of my biggest mistakes, other than Crawford and Canelo, was not taking Inoue to get knocked down and win. I got greed, or I got impulsive. I just clicked to get knocked down. But if I would have picked to knock down and win, it was 21-1. I'm still learning, guys. This is a learning curve for all of us. Let's go. We're gonna go back to the knockdown prop. This is my guys. I love fight night. Obviously, we all love fight night, but this is where we could really be nerds. I love the beginning of fight week. And for Australians, it's our Monday. The Americans and Brits, it's Sunday where you are. So you guys are still on this past fight week. I love this part of the week. This is where we're like this is where the archaeologists come into play. We're seeking out and searching, digging for dinosaur bones. Mate, I love this one. I get enamored early. It's like when you meet that when you're younger, you're in high school, you're going to the club, you meet a girl for the first time, and you're just totally enamored in her. And then like you go again the second time to the club, and then you're like, oh shit, she can't really dance though. She's hot, but she can't really dance. And then the third time she smiles and she got a little crooked tooth, and you're like, this is how I am. This is how I am with my bets at the beginning of the week. The first part of the week, I'm like in love. And then as we get to Friday, get teeth and lisps. All right, guys, we're approaching an hour, 7:20. I'm going to stay on for a couple more minutes. I got a big day of coaching. I got something I never talk about. So I have coaching clients at my place. I have an 8 a.m. I have Luke at 8. I have Donna at 9. I have Dave at 10. I have to go return my Halloween costumes because we had a Halloween party. I have a 12 p.m. I'm gonna do a live at 1 here. I'll be doing live again in 5 hours, and then I have a 5 p.m. live stream, and then one more session, 5:45 p.m. strength session here. So guys, this is my passion project. My goal is one day to just be able to do this full time. That's why I put so much energy in it. But I'm juggling two basically careers. I put at least 40 hours into this, and so but I have my whole other. I'm a strength coach, and I'm writing my third book. So I got to start keeping you guys in the loop because sometimes I don't get as much. Like last week, I wanted to do 5 Stats Zone live videos. I only got out 2. GMS put on the elect decision if Lubin has a gas tank. If his tank is anything like Holmes' fight, he gets stopped. Lisp. Boxing fan, I got another idea I'm going to run by you. Send me a WhatsApp message. So I got your WhatsApp number, player. Eddie, I might put the fight to go the distance or take the fight to go over 7.5. All right. So yes or no with this prop? Any 11 $100 on this prop gets you your money back plus 1,050 for both fighters to hit the canvas. Will both fighters be knocked down? Yes. 1150. Ba 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 da 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 da. Got you. I think fight's going the distance. Let's see what that's paying. Will the fight go the distance? Okay. Yes, 245. Whatever way you go here, the odds are nice. This is Vergil versus Lubin. Will the fight go the distance? Whatever way you go here, it's decent odds, right? Eddie, do you see? It's a 12 rounder. Has Vergil ever gone? When's the last time Vergil went all 12? Was Majimov a 12 rounder? Was Boacek? Were Boacek 12? Or are these 10? Ortiz down in rounds 1 and 8. Yeah, man, I didn't like. It's hard for me to get past those knockdowns against Boacek. Yeah, Boacek was 12. Okay. Either or. Yeah, so they were both 12. Good call. Guys, I'm